Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. So to start off making these amazing cinnamon rolls, we're going to have our milk in this container. What I'm going to do is heat this up just until it's warm and not boiling. We don't want it to be boiling. Then we're going to add in our egg, our melted butter, and our dry active yeast. Give this a good mix just until it's well combined and incorporated all together. Next, in my stand mixer, I am going to add in our flour and sugar. If you don't have a stand mixer, that is fine. All you need is a bowl and a wooden or rubber spatula and mix everything all together. To our dry ingredients, we are going to add in the mixture that we just made earlier that consists of the milk, egg, and yeast. What I'm going to do now is I want all the flour and the wet ingredients to be incorporated. So I'm getting my wooden spatula and moving the flour into the wet mixture, that way it doesn't stick to the sides of the bowl. Now we want to keep kneading our mixture just until it forms a dough ball and it doesn't stick to the sides of the bowl. If you are kneading by hand, this dough will be sticky and that's perfectly okay. But just don't incorporate too much flour. If it's too sticky, we don't want a dense dough ball. Now this is what the dough should look like once it's finished kneading. To our bowl with my dough in it, I'm going to add in some olive oil and coating the dough ball just so it doesn't stick as it starts proofing, or known as rising. Once it's well coated, we're going to add a cloth on top of our bowl and we're going to let this rise for about an hour. And when your dough is going to be proofing, you need to place it in a warm, dry place. Just as I'm showing you, I'm arranging the rack so that way the bowl can fit, so that way my dough can proof. A tip I use is actually boiling some water, as you can see on the screen, and that will allow moisture for the yeast to grow and double in size. Once our dough is done proofing for an hour, as you can see, it has risen or doubled in size, and this is exactly what we want. Now we're going to work on our filling. What we need is room temperature butter, another separate bowl with our brown sugar, our cinnamon, cornstarch, and our salt. Get a fork and go ahead and give it a good mix just until it's well combined. What I'm doing next is coating my surface with some flour, and go ahead and put our dough that has risen onto the surface, punch it down, and go ahead and start rolling it out into a rectangular shape. Now we want to keep rolling this out just until it's 1/4 of an inch thick. Once our dough is rolled out, we're going to go ahead and spread our room temperature butter. As you can see here, I'm using a fork and that was a big mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it to a knife and spread your butter all over the dough. When spreading the butter, try to make it as even as possible throughout every inch and centimeter of the dough. Along with the filling, try to get every corner as much as possible. As you can see here, what I'm doing is getting all the little gaps that I have missed. Another great tip that I have is actually getting a rolling pin and rolling it on the surface of the filling. That way when it is time to roll the dough, the filling doesn't start crumbling off and it actually sticks to the dough. That way we have an even coating of the cinnamon sugar mixture. Now the key is to actually try to roll this as tight as possible. Go as slow as you need to, and once you're done with that, I'm going to pinch the dough together. That way it doesn't undo itself as we place it into our baking tin. A great tip for cutting the dough is actually using floss, and this method is the way to get the neatest slice. So what you need to do is get your floss underneath the dough, cross it, not tie it, and go ahead and cross the two together until you get an even cut. If you still don't know what I mean, I'm going to show you a bit more cuts that I did, that way you can get an understanding of how to do this. I know that this is a very long process, but this is going to be the last step before actually baking them. Put them in your baking sheet, cover them up again with a cloth for 30 minutes in a warm place. Once that has doubled in size, then we are ready to bake. Just as that's proofing for 30 minutes, we're going to make our cream cheese filling. What we need is our cream cheese, vanilla extract, milk, and our powdered sugar. Give this a mix, and every now and then you should go ahead and taste the cream cheese frosting that you're making just to see if it's up to your preference, whether it needs more powdered sugar. As you can see, I'm adding more powdered sugar. I'm also adding in more vanilla extract and a little bit more cream cheese just to amp up the flavor. Depending on your preference, you can add more or less powdered sugar on how thin or thick you want your frosting to be. Our dough is done proofing for 30 minutes. As you can see, it has doubled in size. Place these in your preheated oven at 350 degrees. Bake these for 20 minutes and we are done. They should turn out beautiful golden brown, just as you can see when they're done. Add your cream cheese frosting and they are good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know that is a very long, tedious process, but the results are worth it. It is amazing, it's delicious, it melts in your mouth, the cream cheese frosting and the soft bun, it just hits the spot. Go ahead and give this a try. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see y'all next time.